Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. Are you tired of lugging your Mamiya RB67 around with all of its weight and superior image quality? Well, allow me to introduce its younger brother, the Mamiya 645. Like its name suggests, the 645 is a medium format camera that takes 6cm by 4.5cm negatives. So whilst the images are slightly smaller than that of the 6.7 and you do lose a slight bit of image quality, it is more economical to shoot as you get 15 shots per roll on a roll of 120 rather than the 10. Also, another positive of the 645 is its size. As you can tell, it is vastly more portable than the 6.7 in basically every single way. The Mamiya 645 is generally noted as being a great camera for people who want to transition out of 35mm and into 120, as it's pretty intuitive to use and it's not that big of a step up from 35mm format. So when I saw one was available to purchase on eBay, I had to buy it and check it out for myself. Once the camera arrived, I looked through the waist level viewfinder for maybe an hour, maybe two, before deciding to actually take some images. I decided to just take a couple test pictures of the dogs just to make sure everything with the camera was functional. I like these latter two images. The 645 I bought came with a Seiko 80mm 2.8 lens on it. So what I was really testing out with these was the super shallow depth of field, because my 6.7 only goes down to 4.5 I think. So I was seeing what that shallow medium format looked like. And I'm quite happy with these images. Obviously the lighting and the shadows could be a bit better, but they work fine as testers and just as a general gist of what the camera can do. I'd like to take a moment here to thank you all for 100 subscribers. I'm very thankful and grateful for everyone who watches the videos and interacts with them in any sort of way. I love taking pictures and making videos about them, and I'm glad you guys seem to enjoy it too. So hopefully there'll be a lot more down the line. So thank you for that, and also shout out Maya for the cake. Anyway, the day after that we decided we'd take it into the forest and just test out what it could do out and about. Unfortunately, the day got off to a pretty bad start. The first image came out quite blurry and not lit very well. I was just rushing to get an image with both of the dogs in the water, and maybe rushing with a new camera and a new process isn't the best idea. Maybe. For my settings for this day, I pretty much stuck to 5.6 at 1/30th. I didn't want to get too creative with the lighting. I just wanted to test out how the camera worked and make sure that the images came out. But I'm looking forward to trying more creative lighting in the future with the 645. A couple images later, I decided to attempt to take a portrait, and I very quickly realised that with the waist level viewfinder, it's almost impossible to take a portrait image because the ground glass inverts it when you put it to your eye, which makes it very difficult to compose with, as you're simultaneously on your side and also everything's inverted. So composition is pretty hard, as seen here. These aren't the best images, but it does push me to wanting to buy the prism viewfinder for this. I've always wanted the prism viewfinder for the 6.7, but it just seems like a lot of money when I don't really need it with the 6.7 as it's got the rotating back. Whereas with the 645, I'd love to start taking portraits on this, as it's just so much more portable. So maybe a purchase down the line. Regarding how portable the 645 is, it's way easier to carry around than the 6.7. It's way more convenient. It doesn't quite fit in your pocket, but at least you can hold it in one hand rather than with two and around your neck. It makes it a lot easier to just go out and take pictures more impromptu. This was an image I was actually really excited to see come out. I like the colours, the composition's good, and also everything's in focus, which makes a change. However, something to do with the light messed up and there's a strange artifact in the corner of the frame. I do still like the image, but I guess it's just part and parcel of shooting film. And then the last photo of the roll, which ended up being my favourite and arguably the best, is just a portrait of Maya with both the dogs. I think this is the best example of why to shoot medium format and why the 645 is a great camera. I think I shot this on f4 and you get that lovely medium format shallow depth of field, a nice separation between the subject and the background, and that's the look I really strive for, so to see it come out is actually quite nice. I feel like if I was shooting with any other camera I wouldn't have composed this image in the way that I did. The landscape orientation and the 8mm lens kind of forced me into this strange faraway position, but I quite enjoy that. I quite like being put out of my comfort zone, especially using a camera which kind of forces me to compose differently and to take an image that I wouldn't normally take, because it stops things being boring. So I just finished shooting the first roll through the Mamiya 645, first ever roll of Portrait 400 on medium format, and first roll that I've put through this. And immediate thoughts, I love it. It's way more intuitive than the 6.7. It's obviously very much more portable. It's slightly obviously bigger than like point and shoots and majority of just 35mm film cameras in general, but it's a way more convenient and portable camera compared to the 6.7. The ground glass is clear and very, very bright. It's very easy to frame with. 15 shots is a lot nicer than the 10, so I'm excited to see what the change in image quality between the two is like. So I'll go get this developed ASAP. So after getting the images back and reviewing them, would I recommend the 645? Yeah, I would. I think it's great. I like how portable it is. I like how intuitive it is. It's far more intuitive to use than the 6.7. I don't know if that's because personally I've had prior experience to shooting the 6.7, but for those stepping up from 35mm format, getting the 645 as that next step, I think it's a great decision to make. I think it's not too different, it's not too dissimilar. I think this particular camera makes that step accessible and understandable, and you really do start to see that superior image quality, even just like a tiny bit, especially if you get like a nice lens. Will it be replacing my RB67? Probably not. I love my RB67. However, I'm excited to keep shooting it in the future and to see what kind of images I can make with it, especially if I end up getting a prism viewfinder, because I think that'll just make taking portraits so much easier. I actually did a session this morning with Michael. That video will be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. And lugging the 6.7 around everywhere is really starting to ruin my shoulders. So we'll see what comes in the future. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Mamiya 645 and the images of today down in the comments. And if you'd like to see more of my photography, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.